Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now today's piece of content is from the awesome people at Studies and Observation Group Europe who sent me a product that's different to the usual. Now we all know Studies and Observation Group for awesome things like these sharp pointy metal things, but I love it when companies step out of their comfort zone. I think it's great, everyone should do it every now and again, to challenge yourself to do something that's different, that falls outside of your safety net. So we're here today to look at the Surrept 24, which is a backpack from Studies and Observation Group. Now before we start, full disclosure, this was sent to me as a review item, but I say this in every single piece of content that I make when something's sent to me as part of the conversation that I have with different manufacturers. Every single bit of opinion today is 100% mine. I've certainly not been paid to favourably review this content, and everything today will be frank and honest. I'm frank, he's honest. That was a really crap dad joke, so we'll just move on from there. So what I'll usually do is we'll turn the camera around whilst I'm doing that. If at any point you do enjoy this piece of content, then please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe and share. That would be absolutely amazing. But for now, let's have a look at the Surrept 24. Okay, so as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements, some materials, and then we'll have a look around the actual pack itself. Now if you hadn't guessed already, so the Surrept 24 is a 24 litre day bag. Measurements wise, it comes in at 460mm by 330mm by 220mm deep. So on your day bag kind of EDC size, it's actually quite a good size. I've been using this, taking this into the office. I've been going on walks with this. As you can see, this is definitely what I'd like to call a tested bag. So there is a little bit of dirt on the front. Unfortunately, I'll roll some footage now, but there's been a lot of trees blown down, so I had to scramble over a few trees this morning and around some trees. So we've got some mud on the front, but which probably leads me on to a really good point in the fact that the material that this is made from is a 420D nylon ripstop that has a waterproof TPU coating. All of this mud that's on here at the moment, just with some light water and a wet rag, will just wash completely off it and it will look as new. Now I have to say, this is the first time that I've come across this type of material. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, I've come across TPU coated nylon material before, but this has it has like a nice texture to it. So rather than being a very slippy kind of material, it does have a little bit of grip to it, which again, it's, you know, it's quite nice. But when you do get it wet, the water it just rolls off it, mainly because of that TPU coating. It also means that if you do have equipment, mainly a laptop, you know, this is perfect for your daily commute. You can put your laptop into here. Whatever is in here will definitely stay nice and dry. To add to that, especially as far as materials, you have a front section here where you can put all of your easy access kind of organisation stuff. There is another one here at the back, and these two have YKK RC AQUAGUARD zippers on there to make sure again that whatever is in here, any electronics can be covered. The zipper pulls on these, they are SOG's own zipper pulls. They're a bit bulky, I'd say, but I think they do a great job. What they have is they have this extra little lip on it so that when you need to grab it, you certainly get some good traction with your thumb to be able to pull them. They're a little on the large side and a little bit clunky. However, I certainly don't think it would put me off this bag if I was to purchase it myself. The two compartments here, the main compartment where you have your laptop and electronics, there is an eye closure on here, so if you're wanting to travel with this, you can do. You can also lock off this front section, and there is also a CCW section on the back. I learned recently certain areas in Europe where CCW is possible. If you have a bag like this, it needs to have eye holes just in case, or certainly if it's left alone, you need to have eye holes on there. You can take a lock off there if you need to, and you're carrying it in public. You certainly wouldn't want to go, excuse me, can you please hold fire? I just need to get my gun out whilst I unlock it. That would be a bit crazy. So yeah, so whatever you've got in here will stay nice and dry. As far as the other materials, so there is another zipper here on the side which we'll get to. This one doesn't have an AQUAGUARD one on there, but mainly, you know, it's at the back of the bag. I think with this being the CCW section, you really want to make sure that you can get in there as quickly and as smoothly as possible. The AQUAGUARD zippers certainly aren't hard to open, but because of that top membrane, you do just have to pull it a little bit more, and you want this to be fast. You want it to be efficient. So that's on the side. The rest of the nylons are really nice nylons. All of the buckles are good, strong buckles. And there's some additional webbing as far as here at the top where you've got grab handles. There are also grab handles here on the side if you want to hold it on its side as well. So we'll go through the features. I'll tell you what, we'll start on the side first, mainly because there's some other bits that I want to show. But on the side here you have two large water bottle pockets. They're both identical on both sides. You can put a full litre bottle into here, and I like the way that a lot more bag companies are doing these side pockets. So it keeps the same material that you have here on the rest of the bag. And it's almost a separate flap, but with some gusseting using some elasticated meshing on the side, and then a really good strong piece of elastic here. When there's nothing in here, it will stay flush on the side of your bag and make it just look a little bit more slimline. But when you need to, it'll open straight out, and you can drop a 1 litre bottle into there. And it's exactly the same on this side. So whether you're a lefty or a righty, if you need to grab your bottle, you can do. On the sides as well, you also have, which I've just kind of alluded to, you have these grab handles. The grab handles are a little on the thin side. They're probably about 20mm wide, but I think with a 24 litre bag, yeah, potentially you could overload this, but you'd be using these if you're walking to see a client, you're walking to an office, whatever you're doing, you're going to use the shoulder straps, and then you're going to take that off and you're going to walk around and have a meeting or do your daily commute. So I think the side ones, the side grab handles, they're fine for what they are. They do an adequate job. They're also well situated, so they're closer to the back and further in the middle, so that when you pick it up, it's got a good balance, especially when this is loaded and you've got a laptop in here. Your laptop sits at the back, so it doesn't feel as though it's trying to rotate or move. It certainly feels well weighted when it's in. So on the front, now I am missing the bottom because I'm going to get to the bottom once I've done the front, and that is, so on the front you just have this large section. A lot of the bags that I tend to look at generally have some sort of molle or something on here, but it's a very nice, smooth, clean, subtle look to this. When you look at the word Surrept, it means to be subtle, it means to be secretive. I certainly don't want to use, well, alright, okay, I was just about to use it anyway, but that kind of grey man kind of look and feel. There's a lot that you can do with this, but it still looks like a very classic style backpack. So you, as I say, you have this really nice, smooth, clean front to it. And then at the top here, you have two zips so that you can get into that, that easy access pocket. Now, the main reason I haven't touched on the bag yet is if I leave this, you know, it's a great bag. All it wants to do is sit up, and that is because on the bottom here, if you look, the way that it's designed, it has a suppose you could call it a traditional barrel style body, but they've not done anything to this bottom purposely to make it as flat as possible. When you put stuff, I mean, on this tree, it's I was going to say it's a bad example, but you know, when you're walking, you put it down, whether you've got your laptop in there, whether you're going to the gym and it's full with other things, it just wants to stand up. It's a very, very good bag for being able to put down, and it's certainly one of the selling points on this. It's one that you kind of take for granted with certain bags, that you put them down and they just fall over. But if you're the type of person that likes to have a bag that will always sit up, then this should definitely be a bag that you should look at. But apart from that, so underneath here there's also an access pocket here. So this pocket itself, it's one of the things that I'd possibly change about this. So the pocket itself, when we have a look on the inside, the pocket, it's actually free within there. It doesn't attach to anything on the inside. I mean, it's great if you want to put something in there, certainly something that's wet, you can put that in and it's out of the way. However, on the inside, it's not like a separate floor or anything that's in there. But it's definitely good if you want to maybe grab a rain hood. Now, you're probably thinking, why would I need a rain hood? But I don't know. Maybe extra protection for your head, and then you take that off because you've just got into a meeting and you put it in there. Maybe you're very precious about your hair, possibly. So that's the bottom. On the top, as I mentioned here, we have this quick access double zips that you can ambi open either way, and then there is a fold down here which gives you quick access to this organisation pocket. Now, everything in here is lined. I've been looking through the stitching. The stitching's great. It's you know, it's all very straight. There's no loose bits. Where the zip has been put on, again, all of the stitching on there. It's as you'd expect. And the lining, the fact that there's some lining in here is great as well, just because anything that you've got in here, it just makes sure that this outer TPU, I mean, let's call it membrane for now. I don't think it's actually a membrane, but this TPU section on the outside, you really do want to make sure, because of its keeping things dry on the inside, that nothing pierces that. So having this extra lining will certainly make sure that that doesn't get pierced. It doesn't go down all the way, it actually stops just about here. So where I've got this little first aid, you'll see that it goes in, it goes down about, say, 2 or 3 inches. You've got some extra little pockets here that you can put large things into, and then some on the end where maybe you might want to put some pens, maybe you might want to put one of your SOG knives, and then there is a zippered section here that you can put some additional things into as well. And this is where you'll be able to find that there is a little key keeper in there as well. The branding on this is actually very subtle as well. So you have these almost kind of chevrons here, and then on the front, the branding on here is actually quite difficult to see, but it's just here, and it says Studies and Observation Group, which again, I think for something that's meant to look and appear low-key, it definitely does a very good job of that. Then we have the double opening on the top, 2 double zippers which come down. It's not a full clamshell opening, so that is one of the differences with this. I suppose it's more akin to a top loader, because the zips, if I pull that to one side there, you can see the zips come down maybe 1/3 of the way down. So this folds back. You have this top bit here, and then on the inside you've got lining all the way down, which then goes onto the back of the organisation panel. In here, I've just have my camera equipment, which has just fallen down. I have my tech pouch. I have tactical teddy bear. This is 100% tactical teddy bear compliant, which I know you guys always like to hear. Have an extra jacket just in case it gets a bit cold today. And then on the inside, if I lean this forward, hopefully you'll be able to see that we have 2 almost document style pockets here. The first document pocket here on the front is where you can put in notebooks, notepads, anything like that. So if you're wanting to use this for college, you're wanting to use this for school, you've got plenty of room for folders. But then if you've got some writing pads, writing material, you can put that in there as well. And then you also have a fleece lined laptop pocket. If I just fold this over as well, so if I just do that. Now, when I go to work on my daily commute, so I have a 16-inch laptop. The 16-inch laptop fits into here, certainly with no issues. I think really definitely check your measurements as far as your 16-inch laptops, and luckily mine's a full QWERTY keyboard with the buttons on the end, so it has quite a long aspect. So I definitely check that, but it also has a suspended bottom as well to make sure that if you are dropping this down on the floor, which hopefully nobody's doing anyway, but if you did drop it for some reason, it's suspended, which will protect the bottom of your laptop as well. Now, in front of this document wallet flap, there's also another zipper there. So just in case you need to put anything in there, then you can do as well. So when I've been using this and commuting to work, this has been great for laptop chargers, SD cards, flash memory, all of that sort of stuff just fits in there perfectly. The actual insides, it's a nice big bucket that you can drop all of your stuff into and that you can take off to commute. Oh, I forgot, I zipped that over to me now. The grab handle on the top is the same webbing that's here on the side. It actually feels like a tubular webbing that they've put some sort of foam on the inside, so it does give you a little cushion. Again, it's not the thickest. You can fit your hand in there. Certainly, even when I have my span open, I have a medium to large size hand. It fits through here fine, but I mean, you're not going to be walking around just carrying your backpack like that all day. So I think in the grand scheme of things, it does a very adequate job of, you know, as a grab handle. Now when I turn this round, I'm just going to pull these to the side 1 second. So the back panel here has, rather than it having like a vented, you know, sometimes they just have little kind of cubes that go all the way up it where the foam goes in. So this has a pressed foam feel to it. So if I hold it like that, you can see it does protrude a little bit more here in the lumbar area, just to give you a little bit of support. I think with a bag this kind of size, you know, it's just designed for day wear, for commuting or getting out if you want to go out into the countryside for a walk. And it does an adequate job. Now, does it stop you from sweating? No, no bag will ever stop you from sweating, but it does a good job of being able to, one, protect you from what's inside the bag, and two, to give you back a little bit more of comfort. Now, the main reason that I mentioned the protecting you from what's in the bag, and that is because, so this on this side, you can open this full clamshell, which I don't think really you would do mainly. You'd have the zips on one side, but this all on the inside here and all on the inside, all on this back panel here, is hook and loop. So this is your CCW section. So if you need to use a firearm or have a firearm on you and it's off body, then you can have that in here. There is plenty of room for a large firearm and even some additional magazines if you choose to. And then depending on which side you'll draw from, you can either close them down this side, have them at the top, pull down. You can have them this side, you can have them at the bottom, pull up. With both of these ambi-open zips, they're there to give you the options. Oh. They're there to give you the options that you want if you need to use it. The suspension system on here is a fairly standard kind of suspension system. I don't think it's revolutionary. It's certainly not reinventing the wheel as far as how backpacks carry. There's a little bit of branding here. You can see it, rather than Studies and Observation Group, they just go for the initials SOG. A little reflector here, and then halfway down, hopefully you'll be able to see here that we have a sternum strap. Now the way that the sternum strap's set up, it's on a ladder system, and if you want to completely take this off, you can do, and because it sits within this little gusseted area here, when it's off, again, as it's the Surrept, it just makes it so that it's a very minimal and subtle look that, you know, you can't see it when it's there. But you have two nice buckles here towards the bottom. They're not quick release buckles. Again, I don't think this is the type of bag that would necessarily need quick release buckles. But the buckles that are on here, does it say? It does say. So these are Duraflex buckles, great, hard, reliable buckles. And the nylon webbing that they use, it's actually quite a decent, nice nylon webbing as well. And how does it carry? Well, it's a backpack. Simple as, you know. It's the suspension system, as I say before, you know, it's not really trying to reinvent the wheel. It does what a staple kind of backpack should do. It carries the cushion in the shoulder straps. It's actually quite nice. It's not your plush memory foam kind of cushion, certainly say that. However, I think for a 24-litre backpack, you know, I don't necessarily think that every single bag has to have this amazing memory foam in there. It doesn't ride, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, it just carries exactly as you'd expect for a decent enough backpack. And I think that's kind of my take on this bag. I think what this bag does is, and I mean this with all due respect, I'm certainly not trying to put any negatives on this. In fact, me just saying that makes you think that I am being negative, and I promise I'm not. I think this is a very competent bag. I don't think SOG have tried to break any boundaries, but I certainly don't think every single bag needs to break boundaries. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it does those staple things that you'd expect from a backpack. It does them very well. It keeps your contents dry and clean. It's got that bottom. The bottom's the best bit. This bag is awesome for standing up. This bag will make sure that when you put it down, it's like a buoy in a sea of bags that don't want to stand up. It is, maybe they should have called it the buoyant. Maybe that would have gone away, but then maybe you just thought that you're supposed to be going out swimming with it and it should be used as a buoyancy aid. But yes, it's very good for that. You can put it down, it doesn't want to fall over. Suspension system is great. The organisation on the inside is great, you know, it just does it very well. It doesn't need to be trying to reinvent the wheel, and yeah, certainly good for that. It's definitely one that I'd recommend. Now what I'll do is I'll make sure that I leave some links in the description below so that you can see more from SOG. I'll make sure that Studies and Observation Group, so we've got Studies and Observation Group, which is the main site, which I believe is the US version, and then there is also a Studies and Observation Group here in Europe as well. So I'll make sure everything's in there so that you can see more from them, especially with the social medias, because I think definitely on Instagram you've got SOG, and then you've got SOG Europe, so I'll make sure that they're in there as well. I definitely want to say a massive thank you again to the team for sending this my way. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I enjoy working with you guys, and yeah, it's always good. Hopefully this will help to cement further pieces of content. I'll leave some of my social media links below, but for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. You know, it's great. This bag just doesn't want to fall over. It's like, shit. Bottom on there, you want to put it down. It's like an inappropriate erection at a funeral. It just wants to stand up. It's all that it wants to do. It won't go away. It's great for that. And it's brilliant, it really is. The bottom, the flat bottom on the Bottom on this is like the carpet in a working men's club from the 1990s. It's that sticky when you've got your feet on there, you just can't fall over, and that's what this bag is. It does a very good job of when you put it down. And it's brilliant, it really is. With that flat bottom, it just gives it a very stable chicken tikka. Bottom on this is certainly a massive selling point for this. It's the original Weeble that wobbles but won't fall down backpack, apart from it's got a flat bottom, not a rounded bottom like a Weeble. But anyway, you know, you put this down on the floor, it's got a bottom that you've got on this bag. Unlike your best man on your wedding day, this thing will not get that drunk that it will fall over and spew its contents all over the floor, and unfortunately your mother-in-law. But having that, you can be rest assured that when you take this off, shoot, hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today's piece of content is that was a really loud clap. Shoot, hi. I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now today's piece of content is from the awesome people